Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, which means one thing. We've got the birthday boy, Louis Fowler, on the phone with us, or the Zoom.
Hello, guys. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
Yay! Look forward to it.
Usually about this time, you guys are at Horror Hound.
Yeah.
It's my birthday every year.
Yeah.
So
actually, we would. This is when it was the indie.
Would have been.
Yeah. Would have been this weekend, or the weekend before.
Seriously?
Or next weekend. It would have been around now.
Yeah.
That's just depressing.
This is the year with no horror hounds.
They are doing a virtual
I would have been
event.
crashing on Casey Criswell's couch right now.
No, I miss Casey.
So we've got 3 films coming up this month that Louis curates each month. So we will be skipping the drawing we usually do for the third main attraction, just because this month is always curated and special.
It belongs to Louis.
However, we will be giving away a copy of Robert Ottoni's book to a random mailing list subscriber. And I have a very brief interview that's just a few minutes long here that I'll play. But after that, we'll do a drawing of whoever the winner is, and you'll get that in the mail. We'll do a drawing each week this month. And then Kelley will be reviewing
a physical drawing. I'm gonna draw you like my French girls
in caricature style, like in that insurance commercial with the guy with the giant sandwich.
Yeah. So whoever wins the drawing, I'm gonna need some nudes for reference.
Be careful what you ask for,
Andy. Andy.
Later in the show, Kelley will be reviewing We Summon the Darkness.
I support that.
And and we'll be discussing Ladronas de Almas for our main attraction.
Ladronas de Almas.
Huh?
I said Ladronas de Almas.
Yeah, I think Freddy.
What did I say?
Well,
did I say Dumbledore?
You said Ladronas de Almas.
He said it real white.
Is it?
Did
I say burritos?
Did I say tacos? Are we giving tacos again?
Can I get tacos plate, please?
I was real worried I was going to mispronounce it.
You tried, and I think you.
I wasn't looking at the words when I said it. I did it from memory.
Ooh.
So
pretty good from memory.
Yeah.
From memory, not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Anywho, patreon.com/NOTLP. We have a new episode of Night of the Comic came out Wednesday. Another one coming out this coming Wednesday. I encourage you, if you like that show, check out the videos that we're doing, because there's a lot of visual elements involved in when you're discussing like comics and art and everything. It's a lot more fulfilling.
Before we started recording, Louis asked, oh, they still got muscle shirts in Cincinnati because all the boys are wearing muscle shirts.
I just call them shirts.
Yeah, I like you call it a muscle shirt. I remember that used to be like for tank tops, people would just say, hey, muscle shirt. Yeah.
Well, a tank top is different from a muscle shirt, but the reason I bring it up.
I'm wearing a tank top.
Yeah, he's wearing a tank.
This is a tank.
That's a tank, but Andy kind of is a muscle. Doesn't matter. The reason I brought it up.
Yeah.
So all the boys, by all the boys, you mean Andy.
All right. We're using the term.
I'm wearing a tankini.
It's Louis' birthday.
You just can't see the bottoms.
Yeah, guys, so there's nothing I hate more that term wife beater.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Top. So I want to go I just go with the all-encompassing tank tops.
Tank top.
Right. Shirts don't beat wives.
So the reason I bring it up is because on the Night of the Comic videos, usually the boys are they got their guns out because the sun's out.
We never have
those
sleeves.
boys.
Yeah.
They never have sleeves. Rarely have sleeves. So if you like pasty dudes talking about comic books with their
no sleeves,
with their
all
biceps
with heart problems.
Well, next episode, I'm gonna wear nothing but sleeves.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting.
It'll be bare chested, bare torso,
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of sleeves.
Tila sleeve.
Are you gonna wear one on your wiener?
Come on, Andy.
No.
On your legs.
No.
I like to let my wiener breathe.
All right.
Are pants just leg sleeves?
And they don't make sleeves that big, Kelley.
Oh yeah,
Pants
that makes
are
sense.
Sleeves for the legs.
Yeah.
Also, Patreon episode 109 from 2008 summertime. We talked about Trapped Ashes and the 1978 invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Mm-hmm. We just recorded a little intro to our past.
And that's out there now.
To listen to.
So here is the very brief interview with Robert Atoni. Forgive the audio quality because we did record this over the phone. And here it is.
So I have I'm going to just jump in. You know our show. We're super casual. I have Robert Atoni on, who is the author. He has a new anthology out. What is the name of your book?
It's called Her Infernal Name and Other Nightmares.
So we're going to do something special coming up throughout Hispanic Heritage Month. It's just going to be during this series that we'll be giving away copies of your book every episode to a random mailing list subscriber. Tell us about the book.
Sure. It's a collection of various short stories. There's one novella. It's all kind of anchored around the novella, which is it's called Her Infernal Name. But the other stories are all centered around different fears that I think we all have as everyday folks. Specifically, I channeled my fears into the different stories, and they're about the economy, they're about the environment, they're about relationships. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I think there's a little bit of something for everybody too.
Was this a theme that you wrote to the theme, or are these stories that you had already written that you've collected under the theme?
The only one, there's only one story in this collection that was published elsewhere. So, and it was published right after I wrote it, but it just happened to fit the theme of the anthology itself. So,
what's the best place to get it?
It can be pre-ordered on barnesandnoble.com and through a variety of other booksellers, depending on where you are in the world. And you can pre-order it on Amazon as well, the paperback as well as the ebook.
You have a favorite story in the collection?
I do. I'm most proud of the novella, Her Infernal Name. It's the one that sort of sets the tone for everything, and it really gets... so a lot of the feedback I've gotten has been really positive around it, so I'm particularly proud of that one. It takes fear of social media and fear of FOMO specifically, and kind of addresses that and puts it in a contextual situation against the economy as well. I wrote this, the novella before the pandemic happened, and now I just do not have that feeling anymore. So it was like an exorcism of that particular fear. So that was kind of nice.
I think those are the best stories, the ones that come out of something that a deep feeling that you're trying to figure out. For the author, that the author is just trying to work through something. And I always think that's like the most complex and interesting storytelling. So
I just want to thank you so much for having me. It's pretty much a dream come true to be on your show. I've been listening for so long, and it means a lot. Hearing you talking right now to me is really weird, and it's awesome. And I just thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing. I love you guys so much. It's been so comforting to hear you guys throughout this whole thing, and you all do such a great job, and much love to all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you again, man.
So that was Rob Atoni, and check it out.
I like how you made it sound like an NPR review. NPR interview. We have the strings at the end.
Keeping it classy over here, You want to know why that's one of the few bumpers I actually own. Audio sound stinger things, so it gets a lot of use. It's called Quirky.
This is Freddy Morris. You're listening to Hard Talk on NPR.
Here's Amy with
Coming for Terry.
Put on the NASDAQ and
I don't want to.
corn future.
I'll do corn futures for sure. In the
bet you
future,
will.
I'll eat corn.
Oh,
Back
man.
to you.
Love corn. Yeah.
I will be having cream corn.
Gotta love cream corn. What is the thing where in corn muffins you use corn? Do you use cream corn to bake them with, and then they have corn in them?
You can.
Cornmeal?
There's no law that says you have to. But let's see who's going to win Robert's book real quick.
Oh, sorry.
And
yes.
then we're going to
okay.
talk about more corn muffins.
Okay, please. I want your best recipes, so get ready.
I can't eat corn muffins anymore.
I know you don't, Kelley.
So, J. Daniel Kennedy or J. Danielle Kennedy. I'm not sure.
JDK.
I don't have an actual legal name for this person. This is part of their email address. I am sending you a message now to let you know that you've won.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you for listening and congratulations. You're welcome.
You're going to get a book? It's going to entertain you?
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
Now come to the stage so we can carry you.
On our shoulders?
No, we're going to spill pig's blood on him.
Oh, carry
Oh,
you.
nice.
Oh,
well, I like
get
how that
it.
worked.
I don't get it.
Come on, carry.
It's okay.
And then we could toss corn muffins at you, too.
I get that.
But made with cream corn.
Man, I love a good corn, like a sweet corn muffin.
Oh, I like it too when they're like half baked, so there's still that sweet, soggy corn in the middle, but a nice crispy outside.
Yeah.
There was a restaurant, I don't know if it's still open, but they had the corn muffins that they made with cake mix. So it was like real sweet and cakey. Oh, shit.
What's that blue? That corn mix comes in the blue box.
Jiffy.
Jiffy. I swear by Jiffy.
I've got 2 boxes of that right now, right? Because we bought 3 at one time and we've only made one.
I think we've made them.
Oh, shit.
Sorry to.
I got to get back to the store. Anyway, not important. Not important.
What else do you have in your cabinet, Amy?
Beans.
Oh.
Soups.
Soups.
Do you have Lipton
world.
soup?
Do I have Lipton? No, just regular run-of-the-mill Campbell's. You know?
Do you have a lot of Goya?
No Goya, just Kroger brand, but, you know?
We're boycotting Goya, right?
To be fair, more Mexicans buy Kroger brand than Goya.
Right.
Cheaper.
It's the good shit.
And it's apolitical, too.
Right. Yeah. Are you doing your ADD thing right now? Because you said you had 2 things at the top of the show you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I have another thing.
And I'm out of corn material.
I didn't know. I just wanted to let the corn happen organically. But
What about the corns on your feet, Amy?
Oh, those are fine.
the other thing is Shudder has released. Shudder is everybody knows.
You
If
know
you're
Shudder
listening to
is.
this, you know what Shudder is.
Unless you don't get it in your country, and I'm sorry.
But it's a streaming service that focuses on horror films. But they also have started releasing content that usually was just available streaming on their service on DVD and Blu-ray. And most recently, they've released the Shudder original series, Cursed Films, which covers 5 movies and the myths and legends behind them. Poltergeist, The Omen, The Exorcist, The Crow, and Twilight Zone, the movie.
What do all of those have in common?
What do all of them have in common?
Most of them have in common somebody died on set.
Being cursed.
Yeah, there was it's all,
Before they started filming, there's an old man on the stage like, "You kids don't go in there. This film's cursed."
But some of them are more interesting than others. In particular, I think the most complex story is the one behind Twilight Zone, the movie, just because of the legal battle that ensued after. But they're all really interesting little documentaries. So if you're a fan of those films, even if you're not and you're just into like superstition and,
If you're morbid, if you like true crime.
yeah, they're really entertaining. And but there is something that, and I don't know if they've changed this from when I originally saw, but the Twilight Zone segment actually has the footage of Vic Morrow's accident on set that killed him and the 2 child actors, and they show it unedited in this series. So I would say if you're squeamish, like I didn't know that was coming, and I don't know that I would have watch.
It's a little bit snuff film almost.
Yeah, it was that part was rough because like I had never seen that footage prior to watching this series.
So you see the blade, then you see like the head fly off or something.
Well, you don't see that because it's such a strong
There's a blinding
impact.
flash of light and like
Yeah,
you don't see much, but
the impact is so heavy that thankfully you don't see the aftermath of it.
Yeah.
But that part of it's pretty disturbing. There's also commentary by the director on all 5 of the episodes if you have the DVD set.
Oh, the director of the films? Or
No, the director of the documentary series.
Because I'd love to hear what John Landis says, because people still hate John Landis because of that, you know?
it's still. I remember not long ago there was like Eddie Murphy came out, and then there was like some discussion of kind of John Landis is not a great guy to work with.
Well, also Eddie Murphy and John Landis have kind of a screwed up history from working together where they kind of got into it on the set anyway. So there was no like love lost between those two. And also I'm always kind of on the fence because even after watching this, I don't feel like I know the whole story. And he was kind of a young guy. It's just a lot to think about because making movies can be so dangerous, especially something like that.
God, think about making them right now.
Right. Well, yeah. But I mean, even then,
Batman's got COVID.
Batman got COVID.
But like the risks
Robert
that they would
Pattinson has
take.
COVID?
Yeah.
I got COVID.
It killed his parents.
I mean,
That's so funny. It really is killing people's parents.
would it be an interesting twist? Wouldn't it? They're like, oh, we reimagine this.
Like a
COVID was Joe Cool all the time.
A big COVID germ flew through his window in the middle of the night.
Joe Chill. I said Joe Cool.
It is ironic
How dare you?
that Batman
Joe
has
Chill.
COVID. Think about it,
Oh.
because of the bats. Remember how
Well,
they?
I guess people would know that now that Bruce Wayne is Batman because he sounds like this all the time.
Curse Films though, check it out. It's
Casey, question, Freddie.
Yeah.
Would it be against the rules if I win this contest so I could have that to watch?
Oh, you can have this contest. I'm not giving this away as a contest.
Oh,
I would just send this to you.
Thank you.
Done and
yours.
done.
Sounds interesting, but not interesting enough for me to buy.
Right, I gotcha.
Plus, we have access to the.
We have Shudder, so yeah, we can watch it whenever we want. Hot and cold running tragedy.
And I love it.
But no, it's a really well done series. We even talked about it a little bit, especially the John Landis part on the most recent Night of the Comic that's coming out on Wednesday. But it's good stuff.
Okay. Well, thanks, baby doll.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
adult.
Thank you,
doll.
Shutter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What else we got going on, everybody? How have
Yes.
we been the last couple weeks?
We've got a birthday boy on our hands right
We
now.
got a birthday boy.
Lewis,
Got
did you,
that
have
on our hands.
did you have a good birthday, Lewis?
He's
I
42
did.
years young.
Yeah, I had a great birthday. Very good birthday. One of the best ever.
Oh, that's good. Glad to
But
hear that.
I was trying to tell you yesterday, if you want to talk about some true life horror, and you stay down in a place in Oklahoma called Lake Eufaula, a bunch of rednecks try to have a Trump boat regatta. And
Is that what you did for your birthday?
no, I really wish I did see this live. Apparently, so they all planned to go, but no one had any plans to how it was going to work. So boats were crashing into each other. Boats were sinking. People were, capsized overboard. It was one big mess. So now you follow all these Trump boats that sunk to the bottom.
I love that.
So there's just these Trump flags, say Trump 2020, just in the bottom of the lake now.
It's like that scene when all the people in Jaws show up to hunt the shark.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
I think it's more like that movie Summer Rental with John Candy.
Yeah, I love that movie.
We were talking about this. Was this last night or the other? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Who can you ever remember in your life people being a fan of a president like this and having
No.
parades for them?
No.
And
I've said this a million
Boat
times. I
regattas?
do not understand this whole this is my president. It was
Let me
not
tell you
that
something.
way.
I went I went to watch Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah.
And I cried at the end of it because it was such a good, hopeful message. The way I guess I won't be telling secrets. Like the world does come together at the end, to make the music and everything. It was just so nice to finally see some science fiction that had a hopeful message. because everything's been so dystopic for the past few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this year we've become a dystopic future almost, and I mean, you see our country became more and more of a fascist state, and to see this movie come out with such a good, almost loving movie filled with hope and just
kindness.
It was really, it kind of made me cry towards the end, because it just sucks because this is not our world,
Mm-hmm.
You can't imagine like what the writers when they wrote that movie in '87. They probably thought they were doing a dumb comedy, but now it's like something that's like so needed, that type of coming together of people.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That movie was just like a port in a storm, kind of. It was really fun. And yeah, to see those guys, I was reading an interview with Keanu Reeves, and they were like, Bill and Ted they're not, everybody thought they were stoners, but they're just really positive people. And they come off as stoners because they're so positive and nice.
Well, I mean, in the movie, it's like, before they even save the world, they try to save their marriage. They try to save their children, It's just such nice guys. You don't see movies much anymore with such nice guys like these both were,
Right. Like characters that you can actually aspire to instead of like, this guy has been pushed to the edge and he can't take it anymore.
And as silly as the movie was, it was actually such a beautiful ending,
Yeah.
A sweet ending. And I haven't seen that in such a long time. So it was just really nice to be back in this is only the second movie in the theater I've seen in 2020.
Oh, you went to the theater?
I went once at the beginning of the year to see Selena.
Yeah.
But,
did they re-release Selena?
Yeah, it was one of those, where they show all movies on a Wednesday or something. But it was just really nice to see that kind of positive future message of the future, And it was, I liked it. I loved the movie. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that Amy and I have been watching so much Star Trek and just in general, like positive futurist themed stuff like Babylon 5 and that stuff it makes you feel, it does give you like some hope because
I totally agree.
It's a lot of that storylines. They're like after this horrible thing that we got through, and then the whatever came out of it, So I like to try to think that something really great will come out of all of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're so scared right now because it's that what happened to Kenosha, that 17-year-old.
Yeah,
Right.
It's almost like you got to wonder, was that the first shots fired of a new civil war?
Is that the wait till you see the whites of their eyes at Lexington and Concord?
Yeah,
Like the beginning of something.
And then, so we got November for the election. And, if Trump loses, he's probably not going to leave the White House.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll drag his motherfucking ass out.
Yeah, fuck him. So it's just scary times right now for the future. I hate to be a kid right now. A little kid who all of a sudden is like trying to figure out what this pandemic is. Imagine being a little black kid, and having to deal with cops shooting, black people. It's a fucking tragic future we're in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
and that's
bowled
why
over every day by it.
That's why Bill and Ted was just such a great inspirational movie to see right now.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Yeah. I'm interested though. You said you went to the theater. What was that like? Did your theaters just open?
How they just opened last weekend. Yeah,
ours just opened last week.
And they were like very, they had it was a new theater called the Flicks Brew House, which is a wannabe Alamo Draft House,
Right.
And it's the only place in town that was playing Bill and Ted. No one else was playing it. Everyone else was playing Tenet and that Russell Crowe driving movie.
Oh, Unhinged. I had never fucking heard of it.
The only thing I hinged about that is his jaw in order to fit more Twinkies in there.
I love fat Russell Crowe. It's my favorite incarnation of Russell Crowe.
Hey, Millie, no grumbling.
Yeah, the theaters were they opened them and it was nice. I mean, it's they were spaced apart, by 2 or 3 people, and the rows were wide. So and I was on a handicap row.
You mean so Russell Crowe can fit through them?
Yeah, they made them wide just in case he comes to the theater.
He came to
It's
visit.
his movie. He might be there.
Yeah.
It's true. You never know.
But yeah, no, the theater was nice. I felt very safe in there. I was masked up, and
Yeah.
I was giving into the lie of masks.
You know, I don't want to go to because the dogs are grumbling at each
hear
other
Millie?
and they're distracting me.
Put a mic on Millie real quick.
No, she doesn't deserve it.
Do you guys hear it?
She's being a grumpy bitch.
You hear
God damn it.
How about now? She
All
really
right.
wants to be heard.
You guys just chat. I'm gonna go try to break this up.
Amy's playing mom.
I
right
feel like
now.
Amy was about to make a point about something.
She probably was. It was probably a really good point too. She's smart, but the dog ruined it.
Well,
She's
nature.
Well, if you feel safe about it, I go to the movies. I haven't been in them all year, so it was nice to get out and go.
Yeah, I'm still in a holding pattern as far as like I go out sparingly. Very like I get our groceries delivered. I pretty much leave just for doctor's appointments and stuff. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just paranoid
Louis?
about getting it.
Lewis, did you get popcorn or anything, or is that kind of dangerous to eat in a movie theater?
Well, number one, it's dangerous to eat even before the pandemic was. I know. I worked in movie theaters. I know what those kids do. I know how those kells are cleaned. You don't want popcorn from the theater.
Well, thanks a lot, Lewis, because
but
that's one of my favorite goddamn foods.
That's
You
what
don't wanna
makes
know-
it
you don't
taste
wanna-
good.
You don't even want to know what they do with the hot dogs because I did it myself.
God damn it. That's another one of my favorite foods, and that's no joke.
What they do with the hot dogs.
But no, it's a kind of restaurant / movie theater. So I had some green chili queso and I had a called a brew house burger, and they're both pretty much like eating at Chili's.
yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Which so if you love Chili's, they were great. If you don't like Chili's, they were terrible.
That's like what it's like at the Envision here.
Yeah.
Like their food is very much like a TGI Fridays kind of.
You're not going
gets
there
it-
for the
yeah.
culinary
It
experience.
gets the job done.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine. You're getting to eat a burger at a movie theater.
To be
It's
fair
fine.
though, I was going there for the culinary experience.
We went to one of those with our friend with Mikey B, and he ordered something and it came with like mayonnaise on it, and he will not touch anything with mayonnaise. So he's like puts this giant sandwich on my little table because they didn't take it back. And the space that you have for food there is so small. It just looked like I was being like buried under food because I had my food and his sandwich and everything in front
Well,
of
how
me.
much food did you have to be buried under
A
it?
lot.
Well, probably
Full rack of ribs.
it may have been a full rack of ribs.
Like-
were they like Flintstones? sized
Flintstones,
ribs?
Yeah. I had a
take your car
brontosaurus
over?
burger.
My point was, I would only go to a movie theater right now if I would go on an off day of the week where not a lot of people are there, and I was at the first showing of the day before everybody breathed in it and got their droplets everywhere.
Yeah. To be fair, there was barely anyone in my screening, and
Yeah,
I had a whole row to myself, and there was no one behind me or in front of me, so I felt
that's
okay.
pretty good.
Do they mark off like seating, like to say, hey?
Yeah, well, you have to choose on a computer. your seats,
Okay. So they
So
blacked
keep-
out ones.
Yeah, but I was in the handicap section,
Yeah.
because I'm technically handicapped. But so no one was in my row except me, and no one was sitting behind me or in front of me, so I felt safe.
You could wear a poncho
Yeah.
to protect from droplets. I don't know. I'm just an insane person.
I just wore my Trump 2020 flag.
yeah, that'll keep people away from you. Think about it. Unless
That's one
you're
of the best. That's one of the best things about the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry discovered that if he wears a "Keep America, Make America Great Again" hat, people stay away from him.
That's funny.
I'm not sure I
Yeah.
would risk it.
I didn't even know they were still making episodes of that show. Have to revisit. Anywho,
sure that you do?
we should probably get into roulette.
Anybody have anything else?
Anything else
good?
for the top? From anybody?
No, I was just thinking about what I would order at one of those movie theater things. I would order loud foods like soup or crab legs.
Yeah.
A lot of slurping and cracking coming from Andy's seat.
I got the menu right here.
Oh, here you go.
What are the loudest foods on it?
You can order
Let's
a
see.
bowl of Rice Krispies.
There you go. A bowl of
No.
Pop Rocks.
Okay, well, they have one thing called steak and avocado.
I'd eat that.
Sounds good.
Kickin' fried chicken sandwich.
I'd eat that.
I have the bacon brew house burger. They have a Beyond Burger if you're vegetarian. Fish and chips, chicken tenders and fries.
Oh, yeah, I'd eat that.
A double pep mini pizza.
Oh yeah, I'd eat that.
Pep.
Double pep.
It's real peppy.
They have a tuxedo cake.
What's that?
Fancy.
It's white and chocolate together.
Rich, moist, dark chocolate cake with whipped cream, icing, and chocolate sauce.
No, too much chocolate.
And the whole back is nothing but the beers they have. I guess they have to make their own beers there.
Do they have Rheingeist Slangria?
No, but they have a Amity Island Punch and an El Mariachi Margarita, which I'm really not sure how I feel about. But and they have hot butter popcorn, Hatch chili queso, a Bavarian pretzels, cheese curds, chicken wings, potato skins, and loaded fries.
Damn.
And Russell Crowe nuts.
What about a sizzling fajita platter?
Oh, that would be a good one.
Oh man, that would be such good.
Do they sing to you if it's your birthday?
Oh.
In the middle of the movie, they come out and bring you a cake with a sparkler in it.
Very, very quiet. Because in order to drink, the drinks are all $1. So I had coffee. I just had coffee. So, but the cups of coffee are small, so they keep bringing me refills. So you just press a button and they kind of like duck roll down.
Yeah.
You write a piece of paper and hand it to them, and they, bring it back. But everybody was they're very quiet. They're very.
I love the idea of a server floundering around in the dark movie theater with a hot pot of coffee.
Well, think about
one server did drop a plate of chips behind me.
It's like, oh fuck, shit.
Do you think it's a bunch of like comedy club waiters and waitresses that are out of work right now? Because they're always doing that stuff in the dark.
They were all kids. So.
Oh, okay.
I do think it'd be kind of funny though. It's like if they come out the stairs like 5 chocolate cakes. And they
Kind of amazing.
9 coconut cream pies.
There's a fly in my soup. What's this fly doing in my soup? I ruined it.
Looks like the backstroke.
Yeah. All right.
Aww.
We'll be back with roulette.
Okay.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Another grisly murder scene last night.
Wait, I want to hear that.
The walls covered in satanic symbols.
Another gruesome, ritualistic murder claimed the lives of 6 people last night following a heavy metal concert that local religious groups were protesting.
This is supposed to scare other people, not us. So you ready for Soldiers of Satan?
All right, let's go.
Cheers to a night that we're going to remember for years to come. Hear, hear.
My brothers and sisters, the evil that is heavy metal rock music is unwavering in its goal to corrupt our children's souls.
Girls, be careful now. There's a lot of evil out there.
You don't think we can fend for ourselves? Boys, do you want to have a threesome with us?
How many more children must die in Satan's name?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
It is not too late. Join me in this fight. Incinerate these demons and send them back to hell.
Hey, I know you. I'm the wrath of God.
Why are the police here?
Good riddance.
So the good news is
Alexandra Daddario.
Well, yeah, she's.
That's the good news, right?
The acting is the good news in general is that the acting is all around okay.
All right, we can take that.
This is a 90-minute movie. It feels like at least another 30 minutes on top of that. If you took this 90-minute movie and whittled it down to 43, the 43 best minutes, this would be like a solid but sort of uninspired episode of Tales from the Crypt.
All right.
Yeah, it's just it's super like whatever. It's fine. It's not horrible. Basically, you start off with these three young women who it's set in 1988, and they keep trying to convince you it's the 80s, but they don't try very hard. So they're cars that clearly weren't around in 1988. I think they're just counting on people watching it who weren't there for it. But it's like, oh, that car didn't exist. Oh, there's no bangs, so I don't know how this is the 80s. It was like everything was 80s inspired. Right. You're like, you're living in an 80s inspired timeline.
So it's like surface 80s.
It's very.
So it's like when your local sorority has an 80s party.
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good. And then they go to they meet these like headbanger guys at a sort of a goofy heavy metal show, and I'm trying to decide if I should spoil this or not. It's not a recommend, but I won't spoil it. It's real basic. It's not very exciting. It's much more pedestrian than you even think it's going to be. Like, it starts off, my nose itches.
Oh my gosh.
It starts off.
That's how it starts off?
What?
That's how the movie starts off? Are they doing lines of coke or something? They're like, oh, my nose.
Yeah.
You know?
I was reenacting that for you.
You're so adorable, Kelley. Just how you said, ow, my nose itches.
You made my nose itch.
Yeah. In the middle review, just like, oh, my nose itches.
Spread it around.
You're just like a ray of light.
Oh, well, I try to shine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's way less interesting than you even think it's going to be, which isn't even that interesting to begin with.
Johnny Knoxville's in it.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville's in it, and he does okay. I mean, he always does okay. Everybody does. The acting isn't really a problem, and I do like Alexandra Daddario. She actually is always good. She has a good presence, and not just because of her boobs. I mean, she's legitimately, a pretty good actor.
But those boobies don't hurt.
Yeah, although there's not. I mean, it's not really. This movie is booby free, entirely. I think, but that's okay. I mean, it's just
It didn't knock your dick in the dirt.
It didn't knock my dick in the dirt, nor did it blow or blast my nuts off. It didn't do anything to my junk area.
Blow or blast.
It did neither.
Did it at least lovingly caress for a moment or two?
It left them alone. It didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt them.
It acknowledged them.
It prostate problem. It didn't cause any lesions or anything. It just
the movie was
my
like,
junk
hey.
was thumbs ambivalent.
The movie was like, hey, there's some junk.
I
moved on.
Ever since I heard this movie about earlier this year, I've been wanting to see it because the trailer to me looked like a Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah,
but if it was directed by like Spider from Pyroman 5000, Rob Zombie.
That's so much. Like, if that was how it was, that would be great.
That's such a specific reference to Spider-Man 5000.
I know exactly. I accidentally saw them twice.
Accidentally?
Accidentally. It was never on purpose.
But it's like he's trying to impress his brother Rob with his horror knowledge, but he just can't get there quite.
Right.
Actually, bought their album when I was in college.
You what?
I bought their album in college because I like
Worlds Collide or whatever.
Yeah. It was like very like goth metal light. I was like, yeah, I'm cool, man.
I'm white.
Yeah. I was very sheltered. I thought I was cool.
Yeah, that would have been great though. That would have been a fun thing to watch because at least would have been goofy. I mean, this is goofy, but not even that goofy. It's super like, and it feels longer than it is.
Is it kind of like a take on Satanic Panic type movies?
Yeah, they make you think it's gonna be, and it is a little bit. That's sort of the framing device, and there's sort of a subplot with that, but it's much less of of a theme than you think it's going to be, because they kind of make it out like that's the whole idea, and it really is just kind of in the background.
I don't know if you guys reviewed it or not. I can't remember. Did you ever see a movie called The Babysitter on Netflix?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I love that one.
So this movie wasn't that kind of like humor, but like horror.
Yeah, I think this was trying to capture the Babysitter vibe. I don't think it did it as successfully.
Okay.
Did you?
But it's definitely that kind of thing for sure. Okay. I think it was inspired by, or they picked this up because of that, or this was specifically made because of that. But yeah,
because that Babysitter was a great movie. That was very fun.
What about was it called Satanic Panic?
Yeah,
with Rebecca Romijn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really fun version. The trailer reminds me of We Summon the Darkness. Reminds me of the Grady Hendrix book. We Sold Our Souls. Is that the name?
We Sold Our Souls is a really good book.
Great book.
There's very little rock and roll in this movie. There's a lot of talking.
About rock and roll?
A lot of talking. Actually, there is. They talk about stuff to let you know it's the 80s. Like they have this whole thing about Cliff Burton and Metallica. They're really trying to let you know that they know about the history of it. Like they bring up Dave Mustaine, and they talk about like what concerts they saw, and the guy's like, I saw Ozzy on Randy Rhoads' last concert night. It's like, okay, we get it, you guys.
But they don't go deep like, dude, let's see Blackie Lawless.
No, they sure don't.
Does one of them try to order a Pepsi free?
Right at the surface. They're like, it's a taste of a new generation.
So it's like they typed in 80s and went to the 80s Wikipedia page.
Yeah. They searched like 4 things. They were like, what was happening in heavy metal in the 80s? Okay.
So basically they found like a copy of a Circus on the ground and just flipped through that and picked some bands out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they even they were like, that new album comes out next month. It was like, it's silly. But it's fine. It's an inoffensive movie. It doesn't hurt you to watch it. It just
it's inoffensive.
My standards are so low right now because of the world we live in that if a movie doesn't actively hurt me, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's okay. I didn't hate it. I just
it didn't.
It just kept ending to like it kept having endings, and you're like, and then it like goes a little bit further than that. And you're like, I thought you just ended. And then like it just goes another couple minutes, and then you're like, okay, here's the there's like you're gonna do another shot. Okay. a whole other scene. Okay.
It kills me when a movie like wears out its welcome to the point where, like, I was watching something recently and I was like, I'm gonna stick around until after the credits because I feel like they had the nerve to tack something on. When a movie is like, I think it's when they're really bloated and not, there's a bunch of unnecessary stuff in the main body of the film anyway. And then they're like, well, we shot it. We might as well put it in the post-credit sequence too.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not the Avengers. You're about a hillbilly who eats people or something,
Yeah.
Simple.
Bubba Hillbilly.
An old-fashioned.
Bubba Hillbilly.
Old-fashioned
hillbilly
cannibals. The way we used to make them back then.
These ain't your grandma's cannibals. Wow.
Honest cannibals. Hard-working cannibals.
There was a time in America where cannibals gave a damn.
Not anymore.
Cannibals remember.
Thank you for calling 911.
Cannibals remember.
If you have an old-fashioned hillbilly cannibal problem, press 1. The police will be there in 5 days. If it's up to Joe Biden.
In Joe Biden's America.
In Joe Biden's America, cannibalistic hillbillies run rampant in the streets.
God, please vote if you're an American and get registered and fucking.
Even if you're not an American, please vote.
You know what? Y'all got your fascists too out there in the world.
If fucking Republicans are allowed to vote 2 or 3 times, according to Trump, I don't care where you come from. Even if you don't even have your green card, go vote anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's all legal now.
Yeah. My absentee ballot application will be in the mail as of tomorrow because today is the mail holiday.
It's filled out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk those absentee. I'm going to go right to the polling place and just vote.
I might just do it provisionally that day too. Who knows? Just to make sure that it gets.
You don't know how they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Trump,
Trump, Okay, we're gonna crank it.
We're gonna crank it
real hard.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna
crank it.
Give it to me, Amy. Who's up first?
All
Who
right.
wants this box? Who wants this sweet box of mine?
We're gonna
Put
crank
their hands on it.
it hard. We're gonna. It was Kelley.
Am I on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw you in there for sure.
What? It's a movie on Netflix, right? So I don't got to actually go look for it, right?
It's on Amazon Prime. Can you handle that?
Oh no.
Well, then you're out.
We can make it. We can make it work.
I'll give you my password, but then you'll just buy a bunch of stuff. I'll be like, why am I getting these suggestions? Like,
Why am I getting all these orders for small condoms?
Like the smallest condom sizes you have. It's real weird. Okay. Andy's up first.
All right, Andy.
I'm on first. Who's on second?
Insult to injury. All right, Andy.
Did it get me?
You got You cranked it so hard it popped. It's on Prime, like I said.
So premature.
It's called Evil Little Things. A young boy finds a mystical toy maker with stories to tell. The first is of a leprechaun seeking revenge on a defenseless family. Second is of a doll who works. A doll who works evil on her fragile owner. The toy maker gives the boy a clown named Giggles. Clowns are supposed to be the guardians of happiness, right? These evil little things will cause you many sleepless nights.
This sounds like they didn't even try.
It sounds like they went through every popular horror show over the past 20 years and only had 15 minutes worth of story for each one. Yeah, up down this film.
Well, I will tell you, Zach Galligan's in it. So
who?
Billy from Gremlins.
Oh, it's that Galligan. It's that Galifianakis.
Right? Would that be funny? That'd be fantastic.
I feel like
Zach
he would do it.
Galifianakis and Zach Galligan in the new Gilligan's Island
Yeah.
with Jim Gaffigan, Kathleen Madigan.
Gaffigan, Gilligan, and Galifianakis together again.
And big ups to Gaffigan for going the fuck off on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's my.
Oh, yeah, he cursed.
Good for you, sir. But seriously, lay off adults who like to go to Disney World.
That was one special.
I know, but it
Yeah,
you're so
pissed
she
stung.
took that to heart.
You're so stung.
I agree with him.
We'll be right back with our manager.
I'm sure you do.
Right after. This week's main attraction is Lewis's first pick for Hispanic Heritage
Ladronas de
Month.
Almas.
Thank you. I was going to play the trailer, but it's all in Spanish, and people were giving me crap for playing foreign
Maybe
language
there's
trailers.
Spanish listeners out there who would really appreciate that.
I thought that too. I started to play it, and I was like, if somebody is Spanish speaking, they would appreciate having the trailer audio. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to invite the bullying.
It's not bullying. It's just hard for us.
Frankly,
All right.
Build the wall.
I'm sorry, Freddie. We should be best.
should be best.
Be best.
If you can't
You
be
know
best,
what?
be a best supporter.
If they wanted to listen to Chili Bear learn English.
God damn it. So what's the title translate to? I forget.
Thieves of the Soul.
Oh, okay. All right.
I like it in Spanish much better.
Yeah.
Thieves of the Souls just sounds kind of lame in
It sounds
English.
kind of generic, yeah.
So
But if you whisper Ladronas de Almas in a woman's ear, she quivers a bit.
it does. It's sexier.
Ladronas de Almas.
That makes it sound like perfume.
Well, not in Amy's ear, but.
So, Lewis, what inspired this pick?
Well, I wanted to kind of start off easy for you guys because,
Yeah.
it's right there on Netflix. And I know that I pick sometimes some more obscure films for you have to look for. But this one really surprised me because I did not know. I didn't research it. I didn't know what to expect. And Netflix is doing really good lately by having a lot more Spanish language genre films on their site. And this one, I seen, you see the pictures that advertise the film on the screen. So it's sometimes just different pictures. And just one time it's a picture of the girls, one time it's a picture of the guy holding a cross in front of his face. So it just really interested me. And the description gave me no idea of what I would be watching. So so it was just something that I just picked on the spur of the moment. I thought it might be a fun watch, might be a bad watch, but it's just spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, the images. I was thinking Ghost Story when I first saw the images.
Yeah.
But it's not that at all. It's actually like a period piece during the Mexican Revolution.
It's almost like it's a zombie movie. It's a witch movie. Mm-hmm. It's a treasure movie. It takes all these different kind of avenues where it wants to go with the story, and though the beginning, it's a very slow beginning. The first 30 minutes are pretty slow, but once it gets to underneath the house and you start seeing the creature and you start learning about the myths of the people that live in the swamp, and the zombies are very much a very voodoo Santeria type zombie. They create with the potions and the liquids and the sisters create.
Well, they even have a character who
I thought that was one of the most interesting parts of the movie when he says that.
Yeah.
There's a guy who is, I looked him up, and he was born in Haiti, but then moved to Mexico. So
the actor?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about the idea of
a black Mexican.
Of slaves in Mexico. I didn't know that the slave trade went down there too. So it was kind of a history lesson for me too.
Well, he mentions that his people brought this to Mexico.
Yeah, the zombies.
Yeah, that they turned them into slaves to work for them, and that
I thought it was great. Yeah.
If you
and the deal with the sisters too, it's like you never know where the sisters stand in all this, and especially the little girl, you don't even know if the little girl's a zombie because she doesn't talk.
Right.
She's kind of like saunters around, looks creepy.
Yeah. She's a creepy Her name is Creepy Saunters.
But so what did you guys think about it? I thought it was really good. I thought it was slow, but when picked up, it really did pick up and became very, very atmospheric, very creepy.
Yeah, I liked it. It reminded me. I like how the gothic feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the setting of the old mansion. And it was like at times very Hammer horror to me.
Yeah.
I get that. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I always love supernatural zombies, but that still behave like, Romero zombies. I like the idea of people using them magically as like guards. That's a very kind of role-playing game purpose for zombies. I like that. And again, just it is. I mean, it's not a ghost story, but it does play like it's almost like a ghost story. It's kind of like a fairy tale ghost story, except they're sort of revenants instead of ghosts. But I thought it was a lot of fun. And like you said, I like the witch angle too.
Yeah.
Just a good supernatural sort of period story. Really, really good.
And the at the very beginning, the titles that came up threw me off a little. Because this is based on a true story about the Cordero sisters,
right?
So I thought this might be like not horror film at all. That might be a period piece about these soldiers that attacked this house.
I did too.
And for the first 3 minutes, that's literally what I was thinking. There was going to be like a dramatic piece. Then all of a sudden, when one of the rebel soldiers goes downstairs to the attic, then all of a sudden you see a zombie. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
I was really excited when they started talking about the living dead. Like they're like the stories about this land, and then the living dead. Well, I was like, oh, sweet, it's gonna be zombies. Thank goodness, because I love zombies.
Yeah, because it starts with that this contingent of soldiers who are clearly looking for something, but they won't ever come out and say it, even to each other. They're like, we're here to find the thing. Wink. And so they stumble across this kind of. I don't know what big mansion in the middle of nowhere.
It's like a fort.
Yeah,
it's almost like a plantation almost.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Pirates of the Caribbean area at Disney World.
Oh, like the queue, especially
down under when they're underneath the house.
Place where Jim Gaffigan says you shouldn't go because you're an adult?
Yeah, that's the same place.
Same place. Yeah. So they stumble across this place. I mean, I think they were looking for it. They're not quite sure it's the right place, though. I got that impression.
Well, they're just picking. It's because it's the midpoint between where the last crew of soldiers were going and where they disappeared.
Right. But you don't kind of learn that till later. But they talk, you know, they come to this place, and then the people that live there, this father, his 4 daughters, and the kind of bodyguard.
The servant, kind of.
Servant, but he's more kind of like, I'm here to protect them and take care of them. And they say, you know, we're part of the resistance against the Spanish government, and, you know, we would love to, like, chill here for a little bit if that's cool with you. And this family is very clearly part of the resistance as well. You know, they're kind of dancing around each other. Not quite sure. But they agree to let them stay at this kind of out-of-the-way spot on their land. And you go through this whole movie thinking, not the whole movie, obviously, but, like, through most of the movie thinking these soldiers might be good guys.
Yeah.
And then it switches when they first see the zombie, and they're like, that's my...
Well, it actually switches when they go to the decrepit house that the landowner sends them to, and then they start talking about who they really are,
and they're really part of the
or Spanish army,
army, and they're, you know, but they know of some payments, I guess taxes or blood money that didn't make it to the Spanish, you know, the army.
It looks like it's stolen gold as best. I mean, like, it seems like it's that kind of like
it's
treasure.
like a pirate's treasure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's probably the family's gold. The family probably was, you know, a rich family before this all happened. They were looted by the Spanish. Probably that's all they have left, and they're hiding it, you know. And the only way to really take care of it is probably with zombies guarding it.
I mean, that's where I would go immediately.
It's the best way.
I would chain up a fucking zombie.
It's a really effective way to protect your gold.
And I would like to say about this movie too, how surprising what the blood splatters were.
They were juicy.
People got shot and it, like, literally covered a whole wall.
Yeah.
And constant stabbings with swords to the chest.
There's real good gore in this.
They went
There's a lot of gore, yeah.
And I'm not a gore.
Zombies are good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised about how actually, how beautiful the movie looked and how beautiful the gore was shot. It just wasn't like just, you know, a blood splatter. It was like a beautifully splatted against the wall splatter with the gunshot and the knives and everything.
That's one thing I have to disagree with. I felt like the blood splatters were kind of poorly done because there was just so much of it.
Oh, Andy.
There was only one time, one special effect that was poorly.
No, there was that one time.
They had a head carrying, and the head looked like, you know, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he pulls out that huge head? Yeah. It looked like a little version of that huge head for Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
But I don't want to nitpick, but there's just one scene where this girl is being confronted by a soldier, and somebody behind her shoots the soldier, but the blood splatter hits her in the face.
Yeah. Why can't you just have fun, Andy?
Technically, the blood will go backwards and not.
Well, you know what, Andy?
Well,
it goes both ways.
You've obviously never been splattered in the face, so.
Yeah, have you ever been standing in front of somebody that was just shot in the back of the head?
I've never shot a Spanish soldier, so maybe
maybe that's the problem, Andy.
Think about it.
Do you guys? There was the one soldier who I thought the actor was an albino, or was
the one that was supposed to be playing an old guy, I think. But
the one who goes down to rape that girl and she bites his lip off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
okay,
he's not.
He's just
that
blonde.
Was the grossest. The grossest part of the whole movie for me was seeing his dirty fingers, because they were just so dirty. And he's like raking his hands across the girl's face. I'm like, oh,
everybody was dirty.
Well, that's why she bit his face off.
He was odious.
Yeah, I wasn't too. I mean, the sexual assault was bad enough, but the fact that he had dirty fingers made it worse.
It was a different time.
Here you go.
Did you feel that this also had the look of something that was filmed with like soap opera cameras in some sequences?
We talked about that too.
It does feel almost like a telenovela style, you know, set up and shooting, like it was shot on video instead of film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad that my TV is set up for film, because if it was set up for video, it probably would look terrible.
Yeah.
It is interesting to see, like, because I know sometimes videos go through an up conversion and there's a kind of faking the frame rate or faking the resolution, but in this, they overcame that. I think that look, they managed to make it work for them, where it wasn't distracting the way it could have been.
And because the way it was filmed on video, I feel that's almost the reason why I was so amazed with the gore shots and the makeup.
Yeah,
because it almost felt like at first it'd be cheaper, like TV style, you know, but it wasn't. It was actually film style.
Yeah,
so that's one thing I thought was very impressive.
And so like when you watch a film, you know, it didn't have those artifacts or any of that distortion that you see. So everything, like when someone's in the background in this movie, they're in. The way they filmed it was they're in focus, foreground's in focus. There's lots of colors in this, especially where the people who live there, their living quarters are super colorful.
Yeah, the costuming, very colorful and bright, very clean.
Yeah. So that part of it, for me, I'm like right in the middle on this movie. The only thing it could have been spiced up a little bit maybe, but that's probably just because I'm spoiled by like fast-paced modern movies. Had this come out in the 70s, I would probably be calling it a classic because it is a strong story and it's well executed.
I mean, it may not be a classic, but it's like, imagine going to see a horror film at the theater right now and it's not great, but you still like it.
Right.
I feel this is like, you know, it's like kudos to Netflix for putting something on their channel that's like just a regular horror movie for, you know, Latinos, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what this is almost like just going to a movie theater to see, you know, Annabelle would be for America, you know? It's just a good horror movie. It's not classic. It's not going to go down in history, but it's just a great hour and a half of film to watch.
But it tells a great story.
Like I think Andy was saying, this fits right in with Hammer. Like if you look at the stills that they have available on IMDb, if you just go, you know how they have like the master collection of stills from each movie. There is one still in particular. It's number 14 of 15. And it's the father and one of the daughters, and it looks like it came right out of a Hammer movie.
Yeah, I feel like the atmosphere was the best part of the movie for me.
I would really
the location. Yeah, the location and the history about the legends of how they had the slaves working in the coal mines and how they got loose. I just like the mythology around it.
I really like to talk. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think I like that more than the actual execution of the movie.
I really like to talk to the director or read an interview with the director, ask him, was Hammer films, was, you know, 60s Gothic films, was this his inspiration? Because the tone was set so apart than most horror films, even in America these days, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a ghost story at first, but I like the little twist of the zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see the zombies
coming.
coming.
I twist of the witches too. I thought that was great. They were witches.
Yeah, and the sisters are kind of striking characters too. Like I really kind of dug, like, there is some backstory there that they don't give you 100% of. It in a way it feels like it came out of left field, but it's forgivable because it gives them an air of mystery that I think makes the movie work on that level.
I kind of thought the last scene was cool too, when the very last scene of the movie where they just go to a frame of one sister. The camera turns, there's like two behind her.
Yeah. Oh, I actually laughed a little bit. Yeah, and the way the ending for me played corny.
That was where I said, "Oh, it's kind of like telenovela." Like when they kind of had that shot.
Exactly what Kelley says. That ending was very much like the capper to a long telenovela, you know. And I kind of wondered, did the director do telenovelas before, you know? Because he had to set up the pacing, everything. Because you watch telenovela, it could be like 70 episodes. First 30 episodes will be all set up, you know?
Right.
So, and the movie was very much paced like that. So it must have a telenovela background, because that ending was very much like the capper.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, that moment didn't jive with the way the other shots in the movie were put together. So it stood out in a funny way that maybe it's just probably a matter of me not being used to that.
Right.
But my first instinct was to giggle when you see one and then there's one kind of poking out behind and then another. It's very staged.
I thought that was great. I thought that was a great capper. I really did.
I actually like that too. It kind of gave me like a Dracula feel, like a kind of dark shadowsy.
Definitely.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it does this. It did remind me a lot of Dark Shadows too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, well, Andy said at the beginning, it's very gothic.
Yeah.
I think that's what kept me in it. Because I think the pacing was a little off, certainly. It was slow at the beginning, but I was also sips tired. Let's just be real. Part of that's my fault.
My girlfriend, we were all watching my girlfriend. She fell asleep about halfway through.
There was a moment where my eyes started to close, and I was like, Amy, this is for work. This is for Lewis.
Like, you fell asleep. I was like, you fell asleep for zombies. She goes, there were zombies.
Amy, this is going into your performance review.
And as it should. As it should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you meet HR, they're gonna bring that up. Like, she falls asleep during moves a lot.
She does a lot.
You only get a 1-step raise.
I haven't had a raise in 2 years. That's not important for the show.
Let's talk more about your work history, Amy.
Let's do that. We worked at the same place for 13 years. God, what was I love that kind of kernel of exposition you get about who they are. The zombies, kind of how they're it's just kind of like we use them to do work around the mines. I would have liked to have seen that explored more. But this idea that they've got these zombie slaves working, and then the war hits, and nobody's around to take care of them anymore, and now they're out and about, and they're fucking shit up,
doing what zombies do.
Yeah,
painting the town dead.
Oh,
was that Crypt Keeperism?
Oh, yep.
So there you go.
I have to say, the twist that they were part of the Spanish army and that they got their comeuppance, I felt it's very satisfying with all the talk about colonists and colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's very prescient, I think.
Well, you think about, I don't want to, my brain started to spin out to like, what has colonialism done to the world to bring us to this point? And you think about all these countries where things are not good, or,
America.
In a constant state of war forever because of these decisions made hundreds of years ago. And then you just like, but there's already a pandemic and I can't add this on top right now.
Oh, not to get into like history, like boring history stuff, but I don't think this is boring. But whenever an empire crosses an ocean, it seems like it starts to fall apart and there's revolution involved. At least prior to that may be changing now, and given transportation.
I mean, for America, it's been 500 years. And pretty much a lot of people, a lot of white people are fearful right now because a lot of minorities are taking the streets, so now, everybody's like, if Biden wins, the streets will become lawless. They want to defund the police and all that. More, it's like people are saying, just stop killing us. Stop. Yeah. We're not asking for anything special. Not asking for, anything different than, but just stop killing us, And I don't see why that's so scary to a lot of white people.
I don't know why either. I don't know why, but I guess I wasn't raised in that way. Listen, I'm certain. I know I have racism in my head. You can't help it. Growing up, in the 80s as a white girl, but at the end of the day, I think my mother raised me to know that that's some bullshit, and I don't understand why we fight against it. Good things aren't. There isn't a limited supply of goodness. So let's spread it the fuck around and stop hurting people.
I think
God damn it, I should run for president.
I think the narrative is for the other side of the quote unquote argument, the not reckoning with reality end of it. Like there's a whole nother narrative in those people's heads. So like you have to like go way back, start from square one and like rebuild logic from the ground up on how you got to that point where there's this us and them thing. And the problem is the same people who need to do that are the same ones who don't want to deal with the past at all. So you can't go back and take the action you need to confront that stuff if you're also saying it was my grandparents and not me.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just general laziness.
Yeah, definitely part of it.
Yeah,
they just don't want to think about things.
Don't want to be.
Well, also too, they've had it so good for so long. They're afraid that minorities could treat them the way they treated minorities.
Right, and that's very
freaks them out.
That is a very that's like what is the word I want? Let's underline that fact and really examine that, because that goes to show you just how bad you've been.
But it's fucked up to think that like if a minority does not want to be shot and killed, that's something that like people have to take to the streets to protest, not protest their murder. And the fact that people are actually against that, that's why I don't understand, To me, that's the whole root of like white people have it so good they never have to worry about being murdered, but they piss on minorities that are saying don't murder us.
Well, they're also coming from a place of that's not their experience, so they don't believe it exists.
Right.
So they
different
think
plane of reality.
They think that I think a lot of them, their reasoning is the wool's been pulled over our eyes, and
I've never had a cop treat me like that. I just do what he says.
Right.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Anyway, so what did he keep calling the girls in the movie? I thought it was funny. Was it just damn witches?
He called them bastards.
Bastards.
Bastards came up a few times.
That was her saying that, and it just got like, I think you saw it on the subtitle after, like she said it. She was calling him a bastard, because I thought the same thing, but she was also saying something in Spanish.
Really? I thought he was calling her a bastard at one point.
Well, it seemed like that, but I think it was just sort of slow subtitles, because she was also speaking, and that makes more sense.
She was leaking?
Yep, she was leaking, and
Like,
that makes more sense.
Danny Trejo's long lost cousin.
I was going to say too, I thought that dude was Danny Trejo for a long time.
He looked so much like him.
In the beginning, I thought, for sure.
Yeah, that's not racism. That's actual sight.
Just look at him.
I am saying, as a Mexican, I thought that was Danny Trejo.
Thank you, Louis, because I was worried that what I was saying was
just when you thought Danny Trejo was one of a kind.
But to be fair, he thinks all Mexicans look like Danny Trejo.
Mm-hmm.
all of them are short and adorable. But
he had the best costume of everyone.
He called that little girl. These chicks, man, you fuck with them, they're gonna bite part of you off.
Chicks, man.
I'd love that the little girl with the cross knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want one of those so bad.
I don't think you should have one.
I didn't. That's not a thing I didn't expect at all. Because she's just staying there the whole time in the movie. All of a sudden, she's like picks up the cross. And switchblade comes up.
Like these girls, like they come off at the beginning, like we're just women stuck out in this war. We're doing our best here.
Like what typical women at the time were thought to have been.
Yeah, they're like, fragile. No, I will bite every part of you off that I can.
It's funny though, because the women in this movie are the most powerful aspect, while the man is stuck in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the servant stabbed, with in the beginning also.
Yeah.
So it's like literally up to these women to carry the whole movie to save, the goal of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty remarkable for this kind of movie, for a Mexican movie, actually.
I kind of loved that she hears the story about the zombies from, I forget his name, Isabel. I can't remember it. Doesn't matter. The guy, the manservant. Anyway, God, I'm like stuck. Help me get out of. Thank you. She hears the story and she's like, so how do we make some of these? How do you do that? And then she fucking puts her nose to the grindstone and figures out how to make goddamn zombies.
That was one of my favorite parts, where she turned the guy, left the food out for him.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
He starts spilling green stuff from his mouth.
Yeah. He just started eating that. I mean, like,
it's a plate on a table with the severed head of one of his compatriots.
To be fair, though, we're all fat. We've been there.
It was like a Sunny D commercial where he's looking for something. And he's like, just a severed head. And then behind that severed head, he's like, ooh, bread chunks.
Well, realistically,
bread chunks in a gourd full of something.
If you're soldiers marching kind of through a desert area, you probably, at a certain point, train yourselves or get trained to eat when you find food, if you can.
I understand that, but I'm not going to eat anything that is also sharing
No,
a
you're not a
table
soldier. And-
with your head.
I'll admit, I've eaten on the trash before.
You have.
I'll eat a bowl on a table. So
What if instead of there being just chunks of bread and that gourd full of whatever, there was a big sack of Taco Bell nacho cheese?
Yeah, Amy, hypothetically, you see a severed head.
Yeah.
And right next to it is a Crunchwrap Supreme.
I'm not eating anything that was near the severed head.
But what if you're hungry?
Well, la-di-da, Amy.
I know.
if you're
Well, okay, if it had been
what if it was 2 Crunchwrap Supremes?
well, if it was the Mexican pizza, which y'all, it's going away in November, so I had to eat one the other day, and I don't even normally eat them, but I had to say goodbye. If it was a Mexican pizza and it was post them being removed from the menu at Taco Bell, you know I love Taco Bell.
It's funny you bring up the Taco Bell thing because white people are more upset about things leaving from Taco Bell
Then Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have stayed silent. when you came for my soft taco grilled steak, they said nothing.
White people are not more upset about that.
Yeah.
I know you're not
We're like,
talking
hey,
about me.
We're like, hey, there's kids in cages. And they're like, but my Mexican pizza.
But you know why
These motherfuckers care more about Mexican pizza than Mexican kids. There's your joke, Andy, for when you go to open mic night.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
And then what's your catchphrase after you say it? You gotta be like, Taco Bell menu problems, and then you gotta strut around the stage.
It'll be, ay, Chihuahua.
Ay, Chihuahua.
You're rotten.
That's my catchphrase.
They're gonna be huge. You're gonna be bigger than Gallagher.
It's important that everybody understands, though. I understand the reasoning that Taco Bell is removing the Mexican pizza from their menu. They're saying it creates too
Cultural
much
appropriation.
waste.
Oh.
And that they want to reduce their carbon footprint, so they're going to
They
get
need
rid
more
of the Mexican
bodily
pizza.
waste.
Well, that too.
Are they appropriating Mexican or Italian culture with a Mexican pizza?
Probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it
Well,
to
it's funny-
Taco Bell.
Can you appropriate Italian culture?
I don't know.
Mamma mia, I don't know.
I have culture. Can you appropriate me?
Can I have a Mexican pizza, please?
I know this is going to sound bad, but you know that song WAP?
Yeah.
Every time that plays, I think of Italians.
I don't understand why we're not going with WAP.
Andy, that doesn't sound bad. That is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, it's WOP versus WAP.
I know, but I really wish we had gone with WAP.
WAP.
I think that's a more fun sound anyway.
Oh.
When we're discussing our wet ass pussies,
Wet
I
and
like
gushy.
WAP.
I think I why call it anything? Why just don't make a wet ass pussy noise like?
Well, I think technically it should be wet ass, but wet ass. Then it should
Speaking
be
of Republicans, did you hear about? Did you see that thing where Ben Shapiro was like, wet ass pussy? I mean, they must be sick. Pussies don't get wet. I never had a pussy wet in my life.
Yeah.
My doctor wife says that she
Whoops.
has something wrong with her vagina. Okay. All right. sir.
It feels good. She's never had that before.
If your ass pussy is wet, you might be a redneck.
I did just read a thread on Twitter where somebody's like, I think it technically should be wet -ass pussy to be clarifying
Because it could
grammatically.
be. Yeah, it could be wet ass pussy.
Anyway.
It's
all right, we did it.
Yes, number one is down. What's our next movie, Lewis?
I don't know. What is the next movie?
I don't have that list that you sent me in front of me.
If you're El Chicano or Calimán en el Sinestro Mundo del Humanon.
I'm going to ask you to just text me which one you want to do, and then I'll find it.
Okay. It may take you longer to find Calimán, so let's do El Chicano because that's brand new.
All right, sounds good.
It's kind of a Mexican superhero movie. Well, a Mexican-American superhero movie.
Oh, that's fun.
I haven't watched it yet, so I try to keep these as a surprise for me as well. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's based on a comic book or what, but it looks really good. It's got George Lopez in it.
Oh, even better. That's the dog's losing her mind because I think our dinner is arriving. So we're gonna.
Do you know how Domino's, when they bring you your pizza, they put that little like standee under it so they can set it on like your porch and like not touch the ground? How sweet is that?
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So next week, El Chicano.
And then Andy, you were watching some other
Evil Little Things.
Evil Little Things on Prime, so that would be fun. And we're going to end the show like we always do by saying hi to our Beelzebubs.
All right. I'm sorry that I'm going to read these a little faster than normal because
our pizza is on
our pizza is probably on the porch right now.
And read it fast, baby.
Our Beelzebubs understand.
Yeah. Ernie Perez.
Hey.
Elise Kombrinck.
She here.
Amanda Geletko.
What up?
Jeremy and Cassie Burmeister.
Ooh.
Yo.
Mark Watts.
Yo.
Blake Heath.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Farner. Tree and Alex McNulty. Iona Goodwin. Jeff L.
Jeffel.
Branan and Emily.
Are you guys still in Kentucky?
Adam and Ingram. Adam Ingram.
Laura Ingram.
Bill Chandler.
Ingram. Hi, Bill.
Monica Martinson.
Hey, girl.
Blayne Turner. Kevin Korpi. And last but not least, Alyssa Boehm.
Boom.
Alyssa Boom.
Why did I have to end it with a fart? I'm sorry, Alyssa.
I don't know why you did that.
It wasn't real.
You're a class act.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you, Louis. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah, we'll be back in 1 week.
Good night.